set that up really quick here. And welcome to our fantastic District 8 Toastmasters Awareness, Social Media and Youth Leadership webinar. And we have a couple great speakers for you tonight. We have our illustrious Public Relations Manager, Annetta Work-Sally, on social media, and we'll have our Division B Director, Suresh Gopalakrishnan, talk about our youth leadership program. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Miss Annetta.
Thank you, Angie, and thank you, District 8 Toastmasters, for joining me on this early Monday. I have a couple of other things that are following, so this was the best time, but I just really wanted to get the information out to everyone. So as you can see, let's see, here we go. We're going to jump right into it, and if you're able to follow along, that's what I'm hoping you can do, and you're the ones that's really going to make this count. I'm providing information, but what you need to actually do that call to action is to be able to connect and share with your club members. Your questions are going to matter and what's really going to drive it tonight. I'm talking about social media, and I got a request. Hi, Patty, I see you. I like shouting you out because I love you like that. I got a request on Saturday for Meetup. And actually, that's the most important one, because from there, you can really get the word out even more. Facebook is great if everybody's on it. YouTube is great if there's things out there to see. And same thing with Instagram and Twitter. These are just ones that have been set up for us and are ready to use. And we will use them in the days and months ahead. But the most really important one that really works for your club is a meetup, because it can work for you, for your existing club members, as well as those that are prospective, those that are looking for us and trying to find us. So we're going to help them. It's most important that, let me go to this screen here, because this is where we're going to start. We're going to take a look at this tonight. I actually set up an account for me personally to show you what this looks like, stepping it through. It'll be pretty simple, but yet and still, I want you to be able to ask questions. Your club VP public relations, or that designated club member, if you have a club where your VP of public relations has another person or other persons helping them, and they're actually giving them the social media piece, that's why that designated person. Or it could be both that can manage the meetup group calendar, the club's meetup group calendar. District 8 has 3 groups. Let me see if I can go back. As you can see here, when they were initially set up, they were set up thinking about geographically. So the St. Louis speakers and leaders. So Illinois clubs could join this group as well. And actually your club can be in all 3 of the District 8 meetup groups. And if you are, that's great. That just gives you more visibility and being able to, you don't really know how people think when they're saying, wonder what Toastmaster clubs are in St. Louis. Well, you can look at the city, or you can look at Columbia, Jefferson City area, or you can look at Central and Southern Illinois speakers and leaders. And Missouri can come across the river as well, just making that, because we like to say, most of us may be in what we call the Metro East, South St. Louis Metro East. So that way people can say, oh, that's just across the river. I don't mind driving that far, or I'm willing to drive that far. So again, if you're in all 3, that just gives you more visibility. Or if you want to stay in one particular geographic area, you pick the club that you think would best fit for you. Does that make sense? John, does that make sense to you? Because I can see you right up front. Sure? Thumbs up? Okay, great. I'll keep going. So now we're actually going to go to Meetup and take a look at that. Okay, there we go. as you can see, this is my personal profile. And the way that I actually connected to Meetup was via my Google account. I created a new Google account as I am the incoming Area 6 director, because I wanted to have that kind of a visibility and not my personal Meetup. That way it doesn't get too foggy, and that way I will be able to see what I'm connected to a little bit better without the extra. Now, if you're the type of person that says, you know, I can't have 2, 3, and 4, 5 different accounts, I can manage it well in one, hoorah, great. However you choose to do it. If you don't have one, then you need to create a Meetup. Very simple, doesn't take long. So here I am, and I put a picture to mine. I will say, and as I was managing the public relations, let me bring this back up. Bringing up, as I was managing the Meetup, this can be really, can get really wild because there are people that are requesting, oh, Kathy Brennan, I'm so glad you're here, and I hope that you chime in. Kathy happens to be one of the administrators in the group, where she's able to either add people or not add people, because people have to request. And then she can give them the okay, approve them for that group. And Kathy, would you say it gets kind of hard when there's not a picture associated with an account, a picture that looks legit? Now we'll talk later about what's legit and what's not. And this is based on my experience in managing this. You can unmute, Kathy.
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh, thanks, Annetta. I don't know that I've had the ability to approve accounts. I guess I have. I've set one up, set them up for multiple clubs. And yes, they need to be personalized, just like our free Toast Host site should be personalized with pictures, so that any visitor will have an idea of who they're going to be meeting with.
Exactly. And you will see down here these photos. There in this group, the St. Louis Speakers and Leaders, there's 183 members. I'm just going to click. And some of these you may know, some you may not. When you get something like this, that can be kind of questionable. So you have to, the PRM will look at the profile. And there are questions when a person requests to join a Meetup group or join our Meetup groups anyway. We ask them, why are they interested in Toastmasters? And if they are a member of a District 8 club, to provide their name and number. Those should be easy questions to answer. Even if they have to go look up their member number and put that in. So that will tell the PRM, give them a little better feel of approving that. If they're not comfortable, they can always engage that person and ask them a couple of more things just to make sure. If a person, this individual lives in Edwardsville, I have seen them where they're in New York, and this was even before COVID. So not just the online, you know, people coming from everywhere wanting to connect. There were people coming from like New York, California, Germany, just different places wanting to be a member of our group. And at that time, I would email them back and ask them, what is their reason, you know, not trying to be mean or anything, but just wanting to know a little bit more about why. And if they were able to, if they responded, but most of the time they did not respond back, or at least I had not experienced anyone asking, so I would decline that. And the reason I decline is because it was important, and it is my responsibility to make sure that the ones that are in the group, that you are safe. In other words, your information, whatever you're sharing, becomes visible. I want to make sure that there are people in there that should see and shouldn't be just in there trying to glean information and hack accounts. So it takes a little bit more management, but for me, it was just asking a couple additional questions. If they responded, there was dialogue, which they didn't, but if they didn't, then it was an easy decline. And I said, if they were really serious, they would come back. Is there any questions on that? How the PRM is looking at the accounts or the requests that come in? Now, this is where clubs can really help out. if there is a club, and I will go back to this right here. These are the things to request to add your club meetings to a meetup group calendar. We need to have the name of this individual because they're going to come into the group and they're going to be able to approve requests that are there in that group. So if there are 50 clubs in District 8 that are all in that group, particular group, there should be 50 VP PRs, because they would be able to recognize the people that they told to come into that group. They'll get immediate. The PRM won't even need to deal with that. The PRM is actually the ones that are coming from the outside that nobody knows, or they said that they're not a current member and they want to improve their skills. The PRM then takes that ownership to manage that for the 3 District 8 groups. Does that make sense? So that the PRM isn't refusing or declining someone that's really legit, because everyone may not have a photo that looks professional or does not look suspicious. Let me say that, does not look suspicious. And that's just because that person is using their personal account. They may be a member of other groups. So they may have a picture of their liking, but it may look not too, I don't know. I just want to make sure that I keep the group safe. So when the VPR is also in the group, they can approve those requests as well. They will get that admin right to do that. I just said that Meetup account needed. That VPR, that person that's going to manage in that group, manage their club calendar on the District 8 Meetup group calendar. Ooh, that's a mouthful. They will need a Meetup account. They will make a request to join that Meetup group and the PRM will approve the request. I'm sorry, let me make this bigger. The PRM will approve the request. Then the next thing that needs to happen is then the club VPR or designated club member will actually be the one that makes that first, well, not the first, they will be the one that will provide all the information on the group calendar about that meeting. So the initial request will come to the PRM to say, I'm the point of contact person, here's my email and phone. That way, if there's any questions, the PRM can then ask the individual, I'm just gonna say the VPR person, a little bit more detail if this information is not clear. The PRM will set up one event on the calendar based on this information. And it is our goal to have a Google Doc, because then we won't lose anything in the email when it used to be a form and sometimes those got lost or they weren't completed. So this way, if we do a Google form, then we're able to manage that because will create a spreadsheet and then it will give us that. And then we can follow up and make sure we've gotten all the requests. Or we can make sure whether or not we got the request or not. So it's just the information here, club name and number, meeting date, or it should say day. If it's Thursday, your meeting time, 7 to 8:30. And then is this online also? And that's only because some clubs may keep that online accessibility to their club meetings even after they go back meeting face to face. So we want to make sure that's in our meetup, that people can join either virtually or that it's a face-to-face only. The same way that it's displayed on the Toastmasters International website. Also, you will put your club website or Facebook page, whichever you use for people to see more about the club outside of the Meetup group. That they can click here and go to your free Toast Host page or your Facebook page, whichever one you decide to use. And then we want this year to really make sure we have a club member photo or something that represents your club. It could be your meeting location, but it would be nice if there were people in the picture as well. And again, going back, these are the 3 groups. You can be part of one or all 3. Are there any questions on how you, there we go, actually make a request? Right now, the Google form should be set up, ready to go July 1st. Any questions? And this information will be given to Tom, so that way it's up on the District 8 website, how to request a meetup group calendar for your club to be able to be put into Meetup. And then after that, the PRM will set up the initial one. You'll see how it looks. And then it'll be up to you to populate for the rest and to maintain that. So if you're not meeting on a particular week due to a holiday, or you're just making an adjustment for any reason, you would want to pull that out of Meetup so that no one would be thinking they could come to your meeting and you're not meeting. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
I noticed on chat, someone's asked if there's a cost to register, and James said no. Oh, no, RJ said no. And then another question is, do we complete the Google form when it's posted to include our club information on the Meetup calendar?
Okay, then I must have, okay. What I'm saying is with the Google form, that's just like you would be telling, you are telling the PRM, this is the request. This, I'm just gonna say, O'Fallon Toastmasters wants to set up a reoccurring meetup meeting on Meetup in these 3 groups. So the PRM would take that request and set up an initial one and then approve that VPPR. If they don't see that VPPR pending, you know, to get access, say this is a new person that had not been in Meetup before, then just like Anetta, I am actually going to, well, let me do it right here. I'm sorry, that's what I was going to show you. Back to my, okay. Anetta's not a member. I want to join this group. So I'm going to hit request, and this is what a new VPPR or that designated person would do. Right? And here are the 2 questions. Why am I interested in Toastmasters? Your answers to these will be visible to the public. And we have this set up that the PRM person sent an email to Anetta to let her know that her request had been received. So that's how you, let me see, can I move this? No, I cannot. Okay. I wanted to do a search, start a new group, nope, explore. Okay. So Anetta doesn't know anything about, and she came in here and she actually put in Toastmasters. That's how she got what she got. So in this group, I see this, but then I was limited here. So you can change these based on a zip code or the number or the miles. And then this is what I initially saw. Well, when I do that, any distance, let's go back here. So now you're seeing the actual Toastmaster Club, some of their names in here as well. Here is the other group, District 8 manages. And then this is what they see. They can, Annetta can actually go see, let's see the events. And now this is the clubs that actually have set up. This is where I can tell Southern Illinois, or if I want to say McBrien, Lincoln, Douglas, Springfield, I'm coming. Let's see what they had on their event. Look at that beautiful picture. I see people. I might even see someone I know. Gives me a map if I'm not familiar. And then it also tells me other things similar too. So let's see. I could say request to join this particular event. And then that's why it's important to have someone that BPPR, a designated person from the club, because this person, I'm just going to click it. I have to join. And maybe, and because I am already a Toastmaster, I'm letting them know, and they can call Lance and check me out. Okay. So it's pretty simple for people to connect when the event is there. You see they have the time, they have a location. And I believe I could share this. If I wanted to let other people know where I'm going, or a friend, I could actually copy the link from here. Any questions? Let me come back over here. And thank you, Tom, for helping me manage the chat.
Yeah, and there's one other question. What is the per person limit per meeting group from Tim? What's the person limit? What is the person limit per meetup group?
I'm gonna say it must be a pretty high number, because there was like 183, and let me see. Let me go back to here and click on the link, and that should take me. Uh-oh. This one has 101. Is that what they're asking me?
Okay, and RJ responded, I do not know of any limit.
I haven't seen anything that said your max or close, or.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm going to say it's no, there must not be, but our clubs vary in number, so.
Okay, but then Tim just said, my meetup group is a hard stop at 50. I had to remove someone to let new guests in.
Well, I can see that when you organize a group, you can set a limit yourself.
Okay.
So you may need to check the settings
Oh, I can't do it.
to see if it's been limited to 50, because our club is up to, I don't know, over 150 also. So, but I do see that there's information on how to limit it yourself.
So you're saying he did it to himself?
Yeah, someone may have set that limit.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna see if I can log into, that's the right password. Nope. 1 second. Oh, sometimes I'm good. Okay. Now we're actually looking at from the PRM side of the house. Let's see. Ah, here you actually see now that there's a member appending. Oh, that might be me. I forgot I did that. Yeah, I kind of forgot I did that.
And you're all
Okay.
excited.
Okay. Okay, so now Linda's gonna look at this and say, let's see how legit she is. Is she safe? Well, other than the picture kind of fuzz, I think she can make me out. And then this is where the approval. And then this is just a generic that goes to them. And it can be emailed to the PRM as well. Well, they don't need that, but, and then approved. So let's see all members. Okay. Well, here's one that got in with no picture. We're not sure who Jeff is.
Oh, I've had all kinds of people in my meetup.
Right. So, I mean, it's just when there's no, they're not with any other group, no photo. Again, that PRM has the opportunity to ask a couple of other questions, and they can message them here and have dialogue. Any other questions?
And, RJ just said, Annetta, can you go over how our club sets up their own group on Meetup or mention the tutorial on the D8 website?
Yes. RJ put together this document that actually will help you learn navigating through and how to set up that first event or the next one, because the PRM is going to do the first one using that information that you'll populate into that Google Doc and set that initial one up for you. Or probably the first month if you're especially a weekly, like O'Fallon is weekly. So that's just a couple of quick clicks, Thursday, same time. So let me see, because it's been a minute since I've actually not set up any events myself. So, okay. Create event. Here we go. RJ, is this what you're asking, this right here?
Yes, I couldn't find my mute button. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so title would be O'Fallon Toastmasters Club meeting. I'd set in the time, date and time, and the duration. So it has a duration, so it's not a 7 to 8:30. It'd just be 2 hours. And let's see, there we go. From 1 hour, and then you can even set an end time if it doesn't meet this criteria. Here's your photo. It even tells you the dimensions, so you can get a nice photo, get the right size of the photo, so you're not having to crop it, because the more you crop it, you get a fuzzy like my picture was. So that means I have work to do. The description here tells just a little bit about your meeting, what they can expect. And the more information that you can set up, it gives them that guest experience, like, oh, I get an opportunity to speak. Oh, wow. And you want to make sure you always say they have the choice, but they will have an opportunity to participate. Some people are excited, like me. I wanted to talk the first time, so that was a plus for me. But some people may shun away, but knowing they have a choice to decline. So the more information you can tell about that first experience, the better. Make this an online event. So that's there for you too. Here, we know how to be very careful with putting Zoom information here. we would just tell them this is actually where it's going to be held. If it is an online event, you would actually put more in the description how they would have to connect with you, either with an email or go to the website and click this. Again, the more information you give them to make that, being able to leave Meetup and actually make that connection to do that, the better. I would put it here in the description. I would tell them and then also put that email there too. How to find us. This could be the, I believe, a map link if you wanted to do that as well. And the host. This is where you see these names here. They're event organizer. That gives them that status to manage events, not manage people or people that send requests, but they can actually manage the event. Additional settings, repeat an event, reoccurring, ask members a question. So you have an opportunity to ask questions for your event as well. There's questions to get into the District 8 group, but then you can even ask questions for your particular meeting event or other activity that you're having. Attendee limit, I guess this is it right here. There we go. Can everybody see that? Maybe I need to make it a little bigger. There we go. Allow guests. And there we go. That's just a text box. RSVP start and end time. Okay. Event fee. But we know we don't charge for our events, our club meetings. And then publish. You could preview it, see how it looks, and then before you actually publish it. Any questions?
Oh. Annette, I had a comment to add.
Oh, okay. You need me to go back somewhere?
No. What, unless you want to show when you indicate that a meeting is online. I don't know if you can actually do that in real time, but when you do check that, a box appears for you to enter a URL. Say, and as you said, you would not want to enter your direct link to your meeting you don't want that accessible to the public. But what we have tried is to require registration for a Zoom meeting, and you can put your registration link there. And then once, and then anybody can register for a meeting. And that way you capture the person's name and email address, because then you can decide whether or not they get in.
See, there's that extra layer, and that's what it's all about, being wise, being safe. It's not to, but we do want to be wise and we want to be safe, and that's just the bottom line. And I don't apologize for that. So
I said we tried it, I stopped because then I was requiring our members to register for each individual meeting too, and that was too much. So I just changed it to say to contact, to send a message if someone wants the link.
And that works better, because like you said, then the club members aren't feeling like, hey.
Yeah. So. But that URL does pop up if you just for your use. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay. Any other questions on this? Is actually creating the meeting event to put on the District 8 Meetup group calendar. Okay. So on the 1st, that form will be available, and we really want to clean up the groups, because now we know that there are people that are no longer VP PRs that are still in the group, and that's fine, but they don't need those organizer privileges to manage for managing the group or the event. So we want to make sure we have the right people, and we also want groups to look at their actually look at their meetings on Meetup, because there's some there, it just needs to be cleaned up. That's just the bottom line. So if we looked at a calendar view, this is what we see so far. And we have to be careful with recurring, because sometimes, especially clubs that don't meet every week, unless they make sure they do one here, because if they don't say the 2nd or the 4th, which is their actual meeting dates, it gets off when it's every 2 weeks, when there's that 5th Tuesday in the month or 5th day of the month. So it can throw off a schedule there. So I always just tell everybody, do one for the 2nd and do one for the 4th, and you'll never go wrong. And you will be able to dismiss or cancel the one on if it's a holiday. So just like this club here, let's go to July, for example. This is really good. Is anyone from Marion Toastmasters Club, VA Toastmasters Club here? Because my question would be, are you meeting on the 3rd? Well, if they were here, they would be able to say yes or no. The PRM wouldn't know that. The PRM just knows that they meet on that Friday during that time, and it appears that they meet weekly. So we want to make sure that we have everyone where they're supposed to be, and that these clubs are actually meeting, and that they are saying what they're supposed to be saying. Here's another group photo here. That's a good shot. This is a good description here. There's their map, tells how to get there, meeting time, Tim and Cynthia. So this is a good one. That's the way it should look, very detailed like that. Now, one other thing would be really cool if they had their free Toast host link in here as well. Then the individual could actually go and see a little bit more before they came and learned more about the club, because their website or Facebook page has more information on it. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Okay. Speaking of free Toast hosts, I can speak to this one. That's why I have it up. So we clearly said that group meetings have been canceled, and you want the individuals to know up front what's happening, because if they came over here to meeting information and directions, and I know this may seem like elementary, but we have some that information is not correct. And again, if someone's going to from the TI site and looking, and that information says one thing, and then they come here and it's something else, it's not good. We want the information to be consistent no matter how they find us. If they Google us and come here, or they went to Toastmasters and was perusing around and they fell upon Find a Club, that information is same with this information. And they also can get to, I know for a fact, O'Fallon's free Toast host from TI. So if they click that, they're going to come here. So again, club calendar. Now, let's see. We have PR person is on it because we do not meet this week, and this is correct. So we may want to go in here and make sure that we say this is an online experience since we have it on our calendar. Okay, it doesn't have any information, I guess. So to say that it's not in Paris, France, and it's online, just again, you want to make sure when the person clicks that they get what they're expecting. They're expecting information about our convention in France. And if we put the link to TI, they're going to get the right information. We don't have to worry. So again, you want to make sure this is updated as well. If your club happens to have an awesome wow video, or they're using one of
Hello, I'm Stacy. Thanks for visiting.
They're using one of TI's canned videos, and that's fine too. We just want to make sure that it's clean, that it's accurate, and that the person's experience is not going to be like, wow, this is a broken link. Again, information, we'll be updating this with current information. This we know is the members only, and that these social media sites go there. Let's see what happens when we click on Facebook. Where does it take us? Wow, look at those beautiful people up there. Here we go. So they're going to learn about a little bit more about O'Fallon Toastmasters when they click that link. And there we go. So, any questions? Oh, RJ, I'm sorry. You did say District 8. Let's see. And that's in the resources. Is it here, RJ? Because I have it saved down and I didn't get it from here. So I apologize. I should have had that prepared, but I can get that and make sure that that information gets
It's
out.
under the social media link and underneath resources.
So there's a social media. Oh, nope.
Yeah, I think that was it. And then I had to search for it usually, but that looked like the one I found. It's a social media workshop, but it brings it up.
Then maybe I don't have
Oh,
it.
no, it's not the one. It's a different one. There's a
Well,
link underneath there. It's listed as a resource.
Meetup listing tutorial.
Right. That's it, Tom. You're
If I
right.
could read. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, RJ. Okay. This is going to be updated so that that Google Doc, when you click on it, it will take you directly to that. So we do know that this will need to be updated with that, but everything else will be pretty much what I said and more. And again, if you have any questions, you can contact me as well as our incoming public relations manager. She is a doll and she is fired up and ready to go. So you guys got two firecrackers. I don't know what's going to happen, but all I can say is great things. So anything else? This PowerPoint, let me go back to it. So Tom, will we be able to move this up under that social media closer so that it makes sense, the District 8 social media links?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Well, I know where it is now, but I don't think anybody would think District PRM report. So we'll have that all polished out. I'll make sure Tom gets all the information. He's the one that makes the magic happen so that everyone in the district can access this information and not have to dig. And I appreciate that very much, Tom.
You're welcome.
Here are, again, the 3 meetup groups. Again, you have your choice. Subscribing to the District 8 event calendar, you definitely want to do that because we will be populating that as the days move forward here. RJ's team is coming in and they are locked and ready to go, and you just want to be connected. I just promise you that. We do have Twitter. But again, Twitter is going to be actually how we're just out there breaking news kind of things. So you'll see we don't have very many followers. So we have to build a following. So I'm not going to make people who aren't on Twitter. If you're not comfortable with social media, you can get with me and I'll be more than happy to show you how to get accounts and be incognito, but yet help us by tweeting out, because hashtags work. They really, really work. And the reason I can say that is I have a personal Twitter account, and I have almost 1,000 people that I didn't have to buy and I didn't have to beg. I just put out great content. I was consistent, and I tweet about things that are popular, trending, and what's happening, and that I'm passionate about. So this is the District 8. We're only following 3. We are particular about who we follow, because when people follow us, they're going to want to know, what are we tweeting about? Is it random things? No, we're intentional about our tweets. And we help get the word out with Toastmasters International as well. So again, I'm not going to belay this any longer. If you're not comfortable, but yet you want to get in the game and help get the word out, let the world know about what District 8 is doing and will be doing, I can help you do that and help you understand how you can turn on and off notifications, that sort of thing. District 8 does not make the practice of tagging people, so you're not going to be connected to anything and then be getting all types of notifications every time somebody clicks or has a comment about it. Again, I can help you if you're not comfortable with that, but yet you want to participate. Our private group, you definitely want to be a part of that. It works alongside our webmaster, who does great making sure the information's on the website. We put it in the group so that we can have kind of private conversations about things, or we can reach out to each other, what's happening. Today I put in 3 videos that I just found that are excellent Toastmasters quality videos about things, about Zoom, about branding, going in more detail than what I did. If you're a person that knows how to work with Canva, they've got the basics and how to level it up to make great flyers using Toastmasters branding. So this you want to watch. It's legit, and it's the real deal. And it will help you understand how to create basic flyers using templates, as well as coming up with your own using the approved Toastmaster branding materials. He is currently an area director. I think it's with over in Kuwait area, but he has a whole YouTube channel that is just full of great content. So you definitely would like to connect with him. But this is what we talk about in this group. This is all District 8 right here. I'm sorry, I'm going through here. Marion VA Toastmasters asked, oh, no, they didn't ask a question, but they sharing information, what they're doing or what they heard. Here, Jennifer put out some things to VPEs. This is what we do right here. I was making sure it's things that were happening in TI, just bringing it down just in case, kind of a breaking news. Here's Region 5. You definitely want to connect to there. We have a new advisor. Okay, got to watch my time. Things like that to bring to attention. So that's inside our group. The other thing is our actual page, that external look to prospective members. So definitely when we have events, we put those things out here out front. This is our public page. How do we look to the general public? And even a person that does not have a Toastmaster account, if they were to Google, this would come up, they could see it. It would be kind of limited, but they could see it. With an account, you see more, but that's a Facebook thing. We don't drive that. Again, tweets, things that are happening. When we had our lunch and learn, that was out in the public, and that's PR. PR does not cost. PR is letting the world know you guys really want to be a part of this. When they look at these bios, when they look at the speakers and the things that they're doing, it's like, how do I get connected to that. How do is that for everyone? It can be. It could be their first experience, could have been a lunch and learn. And there they meet other Toastmasters and learn where our clubs are. We direct them to our glorious website that tells them all about the District 8 clubs and the areas that we serve. This was fabulous. James put this together. This was great. The people that attended loved it. The people that saw it, you can see here, you're looking at it from the admin, so a general person wouldn't see these numbers. It reached 91 people. We didn't even pay for that. Here, when the new DTMs, again, our reach can go pretty far if we put the right buzzwords in there or hashtags, or we put it out consistently. We talked about Rotary. People want to know, well, what's that partnership all about? We can tell them because TI has made sure we can talk about that intelligently and accurately. So you don't have to be afraid. If you don't know, you can tell them where to go. We want to get our newsletter out so they can see what we're doing. Look at that, 150 people reached. Now, if I really, really work this site the way that it should be, you could have more. And the reason I'm telling you this again, I'm just going to show you. And yes, this is a brag. I'm going to show you my personal page. And I'm going to tell you, look at that. Didn't pay for any of that. Didn't pay for any of that. My content drives that. So I'm just telling you, my son has 20,000 on YouTube and he didn't pay for any of them. He puts out content. So just think, if we just put $5 on something, how much further we could go. Remember the two things I said about Toastmaster branding. It takes two things. Representation, how do we present ourselves internally and externally, and then the consistency that drives that. So that's the end of my time. Are there any questions? Because we have a fabulous, fabulous webinar following me. No questions? Well, I have my to-do list. I'll make sure that Tom gets this information, that it gets out to all of our Toastmasters. And again, let your VPPRs know when Tom posts this to take a look at this, and we'll make sure they get their hands on that document so that they can start getting in, because we're going to clean up those events out there. And if they're not matching, they don't look good, we're going to be talking to club presidents until we find out who that VPPR is or the designated person. That's all that I have for you this evening. You guys have been wonderful. Again, when you participate, it makes what I do easy. And you're very, very welcome, RJ. This has been a joy. And I thank you, District 8. You make it easy for me to learn and grow. This has truly been a growing experience for me. So Mr. Suresh is up next, and we're going to learn about how you take Toastmasters out and engage.
Thanks, Aneta.
Thanks, Aneta. Go ahead, Angie.
I just want to say thanks, Aneta, for another awesome presentation. Yay. All right, now it's up to Suresh.
Okay, do you want me to get started or wait for till 6:30? We can get started if everyone is okay.
I say go ahead and get started.
Okay, awesome. Good evening, everyone. I am going to start sharing my screen. How is everyone doing? I hope all are good. I'm so excited to make this presentation, and thank you to each and every one of you for joining this meeting. I am going to talk about Youth Leadership Program. I'm not really sure how many of you know about Youth Leadership Program. This is one of the cornerstones of Toastmasters, and it's been there for a long time. This is to help our youth. We've been helping ourselves with doing a lot of development and leadership skills. However, there is already a separate track to help our youth. Today, I'm going to talk about the Youth Leadership Program. I hope all of you can see my screen, right? Yes, hopefully.
I see shaping younger generation.
Awesome. That's what I need, Tom. Thank you.
Okay.
How do we shape our younger generation? Come on. How do teenagers communicate these days? Any guesses?
Text.
Awesome. Electronically. Look at that. All these kids. Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. That's what Aneta was talking about. Twitter, everything. We need to embrace that, but not the kids. Just kidding. They communicate electronically. Does this help them in real world? No, not really. What should we do as adults? What should we do? Provide them guidance on developing interpersonal communication skills. This is what we need them to do. Develop the interpersonal communication skills. That's how they will excel. How do we do that? Here is my response. Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program. This is the best program you can give the kids so that they can excel and develop their interpersonal communication skills. This is one of those proven and already tested program that really worked, and I have seen it with my own eyes. You may ask, what is Youth Leadership Program? It's a workshop consisting of 8 sessions of 2 hours each. It's as simple as that. It enables young leaders under the age of 18 to develop their communicational leadership skills. Through what? Through practical experience. They will be given a set of items, just like we do as part of the Toastmasters program. They do have an agenda. It follows the regular Toastmasters club meeting where you will have an agenda, you'll have a word master, joke master, you'll have a speaker, evaluators, table topics, all of those things. You will follow a strict agenda where kids will take up each of these roles. You are there to help them. They are there to take up each of these roles and communicate so that they can learn the different aspects of leadership skills, how to run a meeting, and at the same time, how to effectively speak in front of the audience. And most important thing, which is my favorite thing, is the evaluation. You get immediate feedback. It's not just me giving feedback to the kids, it is the kids giving their feedback to their peers. That is the best thing you get out of this Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program. How do you start a youth leadership program? A Toastmasters club typically sponsors this youth leadership program by appointing a coordinator who will run this program. You cannot pick anyone to go and run a program, meaning you cannot run a Toastmasters youth leadership program by someone who is not a member or who is not a Toastmaster. It should be sponsored by an existing club, and the coordinator must be in good standing. The bare minimum requirement is they must have completed at least 6 speeches. The cost of running this program will be absorbed by the club which is sponsoring. For instance, I'm running a program, or I ran a program just during the spring this year, and it was sponsored by one of my Toastmasters club from MasterCard, Master Toasters. And they provided me the cost of setting up the room, which is the county library. I believe it was long time ago. Now we are all virtual. And then they also provided me the cost of buying the lectern, buying the gavel, all of those things. So that's how the club will sponsor you to conduct the program for the kids. The most and very important thing is we are not going to charge anything from the kids. It is a free program for the kids. What I did from my point of view, I've charged them $10 for 8 sessions just because I want them to have a skin in the game. I don't want kids signing up and then dropping off just before the program starts or after a week. And I use that $10 to buy them cookies and candies, which I used to give them at the end of the program, at the end of every session, which was very, very popular than anything else. What's the cost of starting the program? As I said, Toastmasters International offers the Youth Leadership Program Kit. For 5 students and 1 coordinator, the kit costs about $17. It includes 1 coordinator guide, 1 certificate for the coordinator, 5 participant workbooks, and 5 certificates, and 25 evaluation forms. If you're conducting a program, which we'll get into the next step, for a 15 students, probably it'll cost you around $60. And then cost of the venue. Typically, if you're conducting the program in the St. Louis County Library, they will charge you $10 for a 3-hour session. Then you can do the math. At the maximum, you may end up paying about $150 to $160 for an 8-week program, and it is truly worth it. What is the cost of doing a virtual program? Again, as we are on the Zoom call, if you have a Zoom account, it costs probably around $15 per month to have the subscription. Or I have noticed that Google Meet is also one of the free video conferencing tools that has been available in the recent past, and it is free. If you are willing to conduct this program, probably James or RJ can talk about this. If the District 8 already has a Zoom video conferencing subscription, you can loan them for once every week. But again, that depends on the availability, because every single one of us is using Zoom. You may have conflict. At the maximum, as I said, you have to pay $15 per month for these virtual sessions. What is a class size? As I said in my previous slide, I recommend having a class size of 15 students for a 2-hour session. Anything more than 15 students for one coordinator, it becomes too much to handle, especially with the kids who are between 7th to 12th grade. That is the recommended students. However, if you want to go a little bit lower to 6th grade, or you want to go, 12th grade is the max. If you want to go to 6th grade, you can. But I think what we have seen, kids try to absorb and they try to become more effective when they are in this range. What is the format of the 8-week program? Again, the kit the Toastmasters International offers, it talks about different areas that you can focus on. It talks about your gestures, it talks about vocal variety, all those different items. What I have done, and again, I worked with Greg Phillips, who is our youth leadership chair, and he's been running this program for many, many, many years. I helped him initially, and now I started my own program for the last 2 years. The thing that really worked out well for us was this format, what I've listed here. Week 1 is where you will, as a coordinator, introduce the program to the students. Weeks 2 through 7, we are asking the students to give 3 speeches. It is mandatory that they give 3 speeches. The first one is an icebreaker. Basically, an icebreaker is getting to know each other. Second one is a convince me speech, where they will make a point for or against a topic. I have seen students coming up with very, very innovative topics, right from why it is bad to have chemicals in the makeup, to the pets, why you need to support bringing up pets, and how there are tragedies happening around the world. They pick up so many serious and more persuasive topics that we cannot think of. Third speech is more about props or visual aids, using their vocal variety, using different props, building their speech, or visual aids. They typically use a PowerPoint presentation to enhance or deliver their speech. Those will happen between weeks 2 and 7. As they are giving the speeches, every student will have the opportunity to evaluate the speeches of the other students. And sometimes what we do, what we call as a round robin evaluation. If you have one speaker, we will let other students to do evaluations of a single speaker. That gives them a good perspective. Also, it gives the evaluators to talk about different things, not just repeat the same thing what the previous student has told. Finally, week 8, this is a big week for the students. It's more of a commencement meeting. They are supposed to be taking all the speeches that they have given or the experience that they have gained in the first 7 weeks, put them together and develop a final speech. And I've seen that during that final week, you can see a amazing progress in how the kids have matured from week 1 to week 7. That's the week where we call the parents, family, and friends to the commencement meeting with a potluck. At the end of that meeting, we present the certificate to the students. Last year, I have asked James to come to the meeting, and James gave a speech and also presented the certificate. It is so exciting to have Toastmasters coming into the meeting so that instead of just the coordinator talking every single week, it is good to hear a different perspective. What I have done in the past was every single week, I have asked a guest to come into the meeting. Just last program, RJ was there. He gave an amazing speech about props or visual aids. He gave an icebreaker using the props. That gave a good example to the students on how they can develop speeches using different props and visual aids. Having a guest come in or a regular Toastmaster come in just to sit in and watch how the kids are doing will give them a different perspective and also the appreciation to the program. Where can we find the participants? There are different avenues where we can reach out to find the participants. There is no shortage of interest for the youth leadership program. I can definitely say that. Civic groups, local religious groups, local libraries, junior achievement, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, and in regular schools. If you are interested, I would suggest, as Aneta was saying, through the social media or through reaching out to through one of these avenues, set up a submit, not submit, create a flyer about the youth leadership program and leave it at the local libraries and tell them to contact you. I'm sure you will get a lot of calls, especially for the kids who really wants to improve their public speaking skills, and most importantly, the parents who really want their kids to excel and succeed. Let's talk about the benefits. It benefits both the students and also the coordinator. Benefit to the student. It's designed to help the students build their self-esteem and interpersonal communication skills. It helps them truly how to prepare and deliver a speech. I have seen many students who were really, really scared to stand up in front of the lectern and say something on week 1. By end of week 8, they are really thriving in giving their speeches. Most importantly, table topics. They are so excited to talk about, to give responses to the table topic questions, which is completely different from what we do. When we are asked table topic questions, we put our head down. Kids are not like that. They're always ready to respond. That's something that is very exciting and makes you think that they are really shaped to give and become a better speakers. Conducting meetings. It helps them to conduct meeting, organize things and have an agenda and conduct the meetings. As we all know, listening effectively and evaluating what they have heard. Those are some of the definite benefits that the kids will achieve at the end of this program. For the coordinator, managing the wide range of students from 7th to 12th grade, it's not an easy task. When I started doing, first week felt very easy because they are new, you are new to them, they are new to you. they are quiet, starting from second week, they are out of control. You need to control them. At the same time, you will have a Toastmaster from one of the youth leaders, and you tell them to control them. That brings their leadership skills to light. Also, the coordinator has the satisfaction of shaping our next generation of leaders. I truly am passionate about youth leadership program, and I've done this, and I can see that satisfaction I get out of it. At the end of week 8, what we tell the students was, before you deliver your speech or as part of your final speech, talk about what you liked about the program, what you didn't like about the program. And 99% of the students talk about positive things about the program. I rarely heard students saying bad things about the program. As a coordinator, that gives me lots and lots of satisfaction. And also, it helps you to expand your own leadership skills. You have to deal with the parents, you have to deal with the students. There will be situations where a parent will enroll the student because parent wants the student to excel. However, student shows up without much interest. Now you have to convince the student why it is important for this program, why this program is important to them. Sometimes you have to deal with these parents as well. They come to you and say, my kid is not doing properly, I need to help you. So you have to set some type of an expectation with the parent, saying that this is a slow process. You will not get the benefit on week 1. You have to go through this process. And sometimes you may want to ask the student to come back to the next youth leadership session. It's not the end all after 8 weeks. What are the next steps? Where do we go from here? At the end of 8 weeks, people generally ask this question, okay, what am I doing? Are you going to conduct one more session? The kids are so excited. Are you going to have one more session? I want to join. I want to join. Yes, absolutely. If we are having one more session, I try to let them know that, yes, we are having a session. If you're interested, please join. That way, when you have a repeat student, you can make them the leader of the group and they will do some of your work as a coordinator. And that helps you and also helps them to become or enhance their leadership skills. Once they complete the program, they have the opportunity to join the Gavel Club. Gavel Club is for kids under 18. It is run just like a Toastmasters. In summary, Youth Leadership Program is very effective workshop that helps in shaping our youth. As I said, I had the honor and privilege to help and conduct this program over the last few years. It really gives me a lot of satisfaction. And as I said, I just finished one program in spring. Unfortunately, the last session I could not complete because of the COVID situation. They had to close down the library. However, I am exploring the option of conducting this virtually because we still don't know when we will get back to our normalcy. I am planning to do that and send out some information to the students who have attended these sessions in the past and see what their interests are and then start this program virtually. If you need more information, there is a lot of information on our District 8 website and also on the Toastmasters website. Questions, comments, anything that I said that doesn't make sense? I will stop sharing.
Suresh, this is Anetta.
Hey, Anita.
I have had the wonderful opportunity. You and Greg have done some phenomenal things that got TI's attention, and I didn't recall you saying anything about that, about the success of your programs. What I would like to know is when the students, like you said, you can have it anywhere from a 7th grade to a 12th grade in the program at the same time. is it harder when they vary in age like that? And I'm sorry if I missed that.
No, it is sometimes it becomes a little bit harder because you have students who are in the higher grade. They are a little bit more matured compared to students who are in the lower grade. That's where you may have to balance, because some students, they always wants to do one specific role, or they always wants to do table topic speaker or table topics master, because they are enjoy asking questions. And some students are quiet. We have to balance those act. I would not, I would consider that similar to what we experience in our Toastmasters club. There are people who are extrovert, there are people who are introvert. We need to balance that act. Did
Hi.
that answer?
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I have a question. I am actually not a member of Toastmasters, but work at Edward Jones. And so this meeting tonight was forwarded to me from the Toastmaster club at my work at Edward Jones, because I have a teenager and I had inquired if there was such a program for youth leadership. So if he would want to start this at his own school, or if he could join a group, is there someone I could get in touch with, or an option?
Absolutely. You can reach out to us through our District 8 website. I can share the deck that I just presented. You can go to the District 8, dist8tm.org, and there is a youth leadership program, and we have contacts listed on that. You can reach out to them, or you can even contact me. I can help you get in touch with folks.
You know, this is Jim Solly. I've done many youth leaderships, and about as far as the age range is concerned, I've had them in my youth leaderships from 8 years old all the way up to 17, even in the same class. And it's just a matter of how mature the kids are and how well they can write. In fact, I've probably had, over the years, I've been doing them off and on since 1994, so just it depends how mature they are. And I find that a lot of the better 8, 9, and 10-year-olds come from the homeschool situation. And if you're looking to do youth leadership, that's a good resource for you to get students. Try and get within the homeschool groups, or someone within the homeschool groups. Now, that's not saying that every 8-year-old should be admitted, but I haven't really said no to any 8, 9, or 10-year-olds. And some of them can write pretty well, and some of them can speak pretty well too. So I know that the Toastmaster official age is probably like 12 or 13 years old to 17 or 18. But sometimes when a mom's bringing 2 children along, she doesn't want to leave that 8-year-old at home by themselves. So he might as well do something useful during that same time too.
Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate your feedback. Any other questions, comments?
But now you're talking about doing youth leadership online with Zoom, is that correct? And I guess that's going to open it to a lot of different age ranges just by that fact.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was planning to do. We'll see how many kids will respond to that. I'm planning to start one program probably in September, and it will be 8 weeks. So maybe September, October, or it'll go on until the first week of November or so.
I'm sorry, I had to come in a little bit late, so I hope I'm not repeating something that you've already talked about. My apologies if I did.
No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. Thank you for sharing your wealth of experience.
Thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions for Suresh? Yep, Annetta mentions that Student Council and National Honor Society are also great groups. They definitely are. All right.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you all for attending. Truly appreciate it.
I want to thank our esteemed presenters tonight, and I want to provide them with a certificate of appreciation for Annetta for her outstanding service for our Toastmasters Awareness Month webinar. And also, absolutely, or give me a second. Sharing and stop sharing to Suresh as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. And we really enjoyed your presentation on the Youth Leadership Program, and we appreciate your service on that.
Thanks.
Perfect. And thank you everyone for attending tonight's session. I hope you guys were able to get a lot out of it. I know I did. So thank you everyone. And everyone have a great rest of your evening and a great week. And happy
Thanks.
Monday. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Bye.